Hey bag makers, I'm Sarah Lawson from Sew Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Sewcial Sunday, my weekly sewing chat. Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Welcome to Sewcial Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me. I was looking through all of the comments leading up to the show. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. If you joined in early, leaving all your comments. I saw Jessica said in the comments a second ago, countdown to awesome. So thanks for that, Jessica. Also, welcome to any new viewers to Sewcial Sunday. I'm so happy that you're joining us for tonight's show. I'm going to run through a couple things and reminders before Danny, my husband, joins me on set. There is a live giveaway on the show tonight, and it is for a Juki Sewing Machine. So it will be one randomly drawn winner, and your entry method is, all you need to do is leave a comment on the show, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Remember, you'll need to be logged into your account in order to leave a comment, and you can leave comments throughout the show. If you if I'm talking about something that you like or you have a question, go ahead and type your comment, and I'll ask you a question near the end of the show just to sort of boost your comment numbers. Hello, Danny.
Hello, everyone.
Let's see. Okay, so tonight and the last 2 weeks, we were doing live giveaways for prizes. Normally, we don't do live giveaways, but we were sort of excited to hit our 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, from the likes, the shares.
Yep.
You guys get on early on the show and talking. Everyone's awesome job. Thank you.
So I just wanted to let you know that starting next week, we're going to be returning to our usual format of giving everyone 1 week to get their entries for that week's giveaway in. So that's our norm, just in case you're not able to watch live. We've been doing the weekly giveaways like that for the past over 4 years, and so we'll be getting back to that giveaway schedule next Sunday. Let's see. Also, if you're a first-time viewer, our regular format for Sewcial Sunday is that my husband Danny joins me every other Sunday. We talk about some things that are going on, talk about feature bag makers in our group.
Business
and then
as well sometimes.
Some business
Every other week.
notes. And then the Sundays that Danny is not on the show with me, which is every other Sunday, I do demonstrations. I talk about new fabrics I've added to my stash, the notion of the week, which is always my favorite, book reviews. I think I already said demonstrations, of course, the giveaways. So if you're interested in any of that, I hope you'll continue joining us for Sewcial Sunday. I think those are the two notes. Again, make sure you leave comments throughout the show because those will be entries for the giveaway. We'll be giving away the sewing machine at the end of the show that's open to U.S. residents. And also we have a separate giveaway for international entries, so stay tuned.
That's cheering. You can't hear it, but I can hear it personally in my head.
All right, so I'd like to start
hold
off
on.
with what?
What's the international giveaway? You just said there's going to be a giveaway, but it's not a Juki. What is it then?
Okay, so we're going to be doing, I know we can't replicate giving a Juki away to worldwide residents, but we are offering a $500 gift certificate to Sew Sweetness. You can spend that on anything that your heart desires, cork, sewing patterns, notions, anything you'd like, and our website is sewsweetness.com.
You know, it's funny. I don't know sometimes when I read the comments after the show that people realize we have a website that we sell your patterns on and stuff like that. They may just see a personality on YouTube and stuff like that, but
and also on the website, I have a tutorials tab on my site. All of our bag making technique videos are on there. I think we're approaching 100 different videos, shorter videos demonstrating different techniques such as adding a zipper overlay to your bag, how to add a zipper pocket to any bag. I try to make those techniques usable. So if you're working on a bag that doesn't already have that feature, but you want to add it, such as a side pocket for a water bottle, all of those videos you can find on my website. They're free videos, and there's tons of free patterns and free videos to go along with those patterns as well. Every so often, we like to feature your bag making shops, post some pictures of shops, either websites, Etsy shops, your Facebook business pages, etc. And so tonight we are featuring Carrie, and her shop is called Department of Magical Objects, which is probably just about the most creative shop name that I've ever heard. So these are some of the items in Carrie's shop. Also, there's a link to Carrie's shop in the description in case you'd like to try, interested in checking out more. She's got some costumes, some fandom pouches and bags in her shop, and so lovely shop, Carrie, and
awesome products.
Yeah, so happy to feature you on the show this week. So Danny's favorite part of the show, second favorite part of the show, when he's on the show with me live, we'd like to invite all of the bag makers to stand proud. Let us know in the comments that you're part of the So Sweetness squad, and remember, comments like these count as your entries for the giveaway. So we really appreciate you watching. As Danny mentioned before, we appreciate the subscribes and likes and shares. And
I do go after every show and go look, and I'm very appreciative. Thank you, everyone, for hitting the like button and thumbs up button.
A quick little video that I wanted to post. We had some baby rabbits in our yard, and I just noticed them a few days ago. I actually thought they left the nest this morning, but then while I was making dinner, I saw 5 of them. So it looks like the video got cut off a little bit.
No, that's the whole video.
That's the whole video? Okay,
yep.
You can see their little ears over there. We have sort of a raised flower bed right underneath my kitchen window, and they come out for short periods of time, usually after dusk or really early in the morning. And as you can see, their little ears
bottom right corner and the top left
peeking
corner.
Up, and they're kind of nibbling on some of the plants in the garden bed, and the mother comes to take care of them basically when it gets dark. So really excited. I am so excited about any wildlife I see out there. I try to contain myself and not like I want to go out there and check them out and take pictures, but I try to stay in the house and just observe through the window and just let them do what they're going to do. It's just really enjoyable for me, and I just get a kick out of looking out in my yard every day and seeing what's out there.
It's always something going on, right?
Yeah, for sure. So today I started working on a little selfish sewing project, a new quilt. Every so often I make a quilt, and I started working on the Elizabeth Hartman quilt pattern. It's called Crystal Cluster. I purchased a quilt kit, so it had all the solids in the background fabric, basically everything needed to make the quilt. And looking forward to making this. It's a lot of flying geese and a bunch of triangles. I think it's a little bit clearer if I hold it back there. So I'm a huge fan of solids. I think this will probably be a gift, but I like cutting out fabric for quilts and working on quilts, mixing it in, sprinkling it in with the bag making. So I'll share that quilt with you when I finish it. I don't know, maybe in a couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. All right. I wanted to tell you how thankful I was that you were watching the show, but I actually wrote it in the form of a letter so that I could read it. I'm not just because I do a live show, I'm not necessarily a great public speaker.
I think you're a great speaker, sir.
I'm more of a quiet and shy person, which I'm totally fine with. But so I prepared a short little letter just because I wanted to thank you and make sure I got all the words in that I wanted to say. So I am so thankful for the places that my Juki Sewing Machine has taken me, since we're talking about the Juki Sewing Machine tonight. From a girl clearing off the dining room table to sew in the middle of the night while her children were sleeping, and now to having the support of my entire family and running So Sweetness. I am so thankful for each and every one of you for tuning in to watch Sewcial Sunday and supporting our small family business. You made me feel like a person of value. When I was younger, I used to look to at what other people were doing or what other people thought was cool, trying to tailor what I liked based on what other people liked. And now I found out that I just like what I like and I don't care what anyone else thinks, which is a great feeling. I love playing games with my family, sewing, horseback riding, cross stitch, watching the living things that are residents in my yard, as I just mentioned with the rabbits. I just got into this year planting native plants. I like paying attention to the bees and butterflies in the yard, spending time with my bearded dragon. I think sewing is so amazing because I have sewing friends from all over the world, friends of different ages, different backgrounds, and different sewing specialties, different sewing related things that they're into. I love that, and it's given me so much and really quote unquote filled up my cup. So with that being said, I'm so pleased to be able to give away this Juki TL18QVP sewing machine tonight. I have to say thank you very much to Tim from So Many Things for providing. Tim provided a Juki to me so that I could demonstrate the features and tell you about the machine on the show. And he's also sponsoring a second machine, which is the machine for our giveaway tonight. So the giveaway machine is still boxed and coming directly from So Many Things. Please visit there's a link to their website online, and also a link in the description if you'd rather give Tim a call if you're interested in Juki Sewing Machine or have questions about it, or perhaps you already have a Juki and need some of extra feet or extra things like the plate for sewing with thick fabric, which I have on my machine and I super love. And now that I'm talking about it, I need to switch out the plate on that Juki that I'm going to be demonstrating later this evening. As I mentioned before, the sewing machine prize is for U.S. residents, but we'll also have that $500 gift certificate for non-U.S. residents. So make sure you stay tuned till the end of the show. Entries will be counted out of all comments posted to this live show. So we combine all the comments from Facebook and YouTube, so everyone is accounted for. And the full details are in the comments in case you're interested in that. Obviously no purchase is necessary. All you have to do is leave a comment, and the way that works, it's a randomly drawn comment. Danny's sitting next to me. He's got his laptop with, he can see the pages of the comments. They're all combined. And when we're ready to do the giveaway, what will happen is he'll let me know how many pages of comments there are. So it's pages of 20 comments. So I'll choose two different numbers. One will be the page number, and the second number that he asks me for will be the comment number 1 through 20 on that page. So it's completely random. We're going to put the winner's comment up on the screen, and then we're also, after that, we're going to draw the non-US winner for the $500 gift certificate. So we're going to give you one last chance. Oh, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself.
We have a little video to show too. When I say little, I mean medium-sized video.
So I did prepare a video demonstrating all the features of the Juki TL18QVP, just so you could see what all is involved in the machine. I thought it was going to be a 5-minute video. It ended up being a little bit longer, but we didn't want to fast forward through anything or skip anything, because I think all of the features are important to see. And I'm also showing you all the accessories included, all the feet that come with the machine. So Danny's going to play that video for you now. If you have any questions about the machine while you're watching, or any other sewing related or bag making related questions, you can type your question in the comments. I know
I'll do my best.
There's a lot of comments coming through tonight, so Danny will do his best, and we'll try to get some questions answered, and then we'll have the giveaway at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that and enjoy the video. Hey bag maker, today I'm going to be talking about the Juki TL18QVP sewing machine. I love this sewing machine, and it's got some new features that are really helpful, especially for bag making. Okay, I'm going to show you some of the features of the machine, also some of the accessories that came with it, and how to do some basic functions such as threading the bobbin and getting the machine set up to sew. So the machine comes with this table, and it has little risers on the bottom, so you can adjust it either higher or lower. I don't usually use mine, but it sure would be handy for things like machine quilting. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide this off and put it to the side. It also comes with a cover for your sewing machine, and the cover has an opening for the handle, so you can still carry the machine with the cover on it. And there's also a knee lift. So if you're not familiar with a knee lift is really handy for when you want to lower or lift the presser foot without using your hands, such as if you're sewing through a curve. It's handy because you can just take your knee and slide it up against this, and it will help with that presser foot. And this just installs by sliding in that opening right there. So this is the knee lift. Okay, so let me show you, there's just a minimal amount of knobs and buttons on the machine, but let me show you what they all do. So there's this lever at the bottom. If it's pointing to the right, that's for regular sewing, and if you're pointing it to the little graphic on the left, that's for your free motion quilting. So I usually leave mine in this setting since I'm working on bags. This lever over here is for a back stitch, so while you're sewing, if you hold this down for a few stitches, it will perform that back stitch function. Really important for locking your stitches at the start and end of the seams. This button, if you push this, it will lower the needle, and then this button with the scissors will cut the thread, which is super handy. If you'd like to cut the thread, you can either use this button here or on your pedal. If you push up like that, that's for sewing, and if you push your heel down on the back of this will cut the thread. So either one, you can either hit the button or this. There's actually an accessory that comes with the machine because sometimes people accidentally cut the thread when they don't mean to, and they don't like that function. So if you'd like to get rid of that function, there's this little black rubber piece that came in the kit with the sewing machine. All you need to do is slide that on the back, and then when you go to use the pedal, it won't push down and cut the thread. Okay, so some of the other dials over here, this is your stitch length. On my machine, when I'm making bags, I'm usually using a 2.5 millimeter stitch length, and then for top stitching I'll usually use 3 millimeter stitch length, and then for basting stitch, such as when attaching fabric to the foam interfacing, I use 4 millimeter stitch length. Again, your stitch length might be your own personal preference. You might have a different stitch length, and that's completely fine. There's this little lever over here on the side with a little picture of a rabbit, and then at the bottom a picture of a turtle. This is your speed for stitching. So you can either go slower, faster. I usually have it set right in the middle. And then on the side of the machine is the on-off button. So that light will turn on when you're ready to sew. And let me go ahead and turn that off for just a second. The two cords just plug into the side of the machine, and if you need to hand crank, you'll just turn this dial. Okay, so let's move on to how to thread the machine. So there's sort of a telescoping thread holder over here, so it goes up quite a bit. Normally I have it set a little bit higher, but I'm going to have it set down low so you can still see it in the camera view. So to thread a bobbin, I'm going to grab an empty bobbin right here, and then I've got my spool of Aurifil thread. So I'm just going to go ahead and set that right over here on the left, and you probably can't see it from the shot, but there's a bit of foam on the base over here. The foam helps so that the thread is not moving while it's sitting on the thread holder. Okay, so I'm going to set the thread through here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and lift it because it's a little bit low for my preference. And then I'm just going to go ahead and sort of crisscross the thread over here, and then I'm going to insert the end of the thread. There's a little opening at the top of the bobbin, and I'm just going to go ahead and insert that right there. All right, so I'm going to slide the bobbin on here, and I'm going to twist it till it just drops just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and push this piece of metal in toward the bobbin, and that will hold the bobbin in place. So I'm going to hold the thread just until it gets started. I'm going to hit the pedal, and then once it gets going, I'm going to start threading the bobbin. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that off. Okay, so to thread the top thread, again, I've got my spool sitting up here, and I'm going to go ahead and set it in this thread holder, and then I'm just going to go ahead and raise it a little bit. Okay, there's a piece of metal here with 3 holes. I'm going to go ahead and insert it coming down through the first hole, and then I'm going to bring it up and come down through the 3rd hole over here. There's a little disc at the top, and I'm going to go ahead and set that thread in the middle of the disc, and then there's an additional disc down here with numbers on it, and then it's going to slide through there. There's a little wire over here, and it's just going to wrap around, come down through here, up through here, and then one more section over here. And this is all illustrated in the manual for your sewing machine. I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to wrap the thread around the back, make sure the needle is in the highest position, and then push down this little white button, and then if you wrap your thread around, it will thread your thread for you. Okay, so to thread your bobbin, go ahead and open this little side door, and here's your bobbin holder over here. I'm going to go ahead and slide the bobbin inside, and then I'm going to wrap it through. There's a little opening on the top of the bobbin case, and then I'm just going to pull a couple of inches of thread out. So it's just going to go ahead and slide in the side of the sewing machine, and then I'm going to close the door. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a couple of extra features that the TL18QVP has that my other Jukis do not. So I also have a Juki QVP 2200 mini and also a Juki TL2010Q. So these machines visually look just about the same. They sew about the same, and they're all made of metal, which is really nice. I've used less expensive plastic sewing machines in the past, and you'll definitely notice the difference with an all metal sewing machine, because this metal sewing machine won't budge. While you're sewing, especially sewing through thick layers, the machine won't be jostling around on your tabletop, whereas a plastic machine, especially a lighter weight one, might be moving around while you're sewing. So I really like that. There's three major new features in the TL18QVP. So there's a little disc over here with two openings, and this little disc is called the attachment fixing plate. And the purpose of this little plate here is for mounting fabric guides and other attachments. Another feature of this sewing machine, there's a little button near the back, and if you hit the button, it turns the light on. If you hit it a second time, it dims the light a little bit. If you hit it a third time, it dims it even more, and then if you hit it a fourth time, it turns the light off. So that's really great to be able to adjust the LED light on the sewing machine. And my favorite feature of this machine is actually the micro lifter. So there's a little knob at the top of the machine, and this is the micro lifter. What it does is the height of the presser foot can be adjusted by turning the knob. So there's three different adjustments. So if the knob is all the way turned down, flush against the base, that's your regular sewing. If you twist it up until you can see a little black dot, and the little black dot will be lined up with, there's a little dash on the base. So that's your first level of height adjustment, and to get to the highest level, you'll just turn this knob all the way up until you can see a red line. And that's the highest level. So the purpose of the micro lifter is for sewing thick seams or variances in seams. So you're probably familiar with top stitching the top edge of a bag, where you have on the sides a seam which is obviously thicker than the rest of the area that you're top stitching. So by using that micro lifter, it sort of compensates for that change in thickness, and it allows the presser foot, looks like I need to tighten my presser foot a little bit, but it allows that presser foot to continuously sew and make that adjustment when you're going to different levels, such as top stitching a seam. So I wanted to share with you kind of what this machine does with layers. I've done this demonstration in the past with lots of different layers on my other two Jukis, so I wanted to do this as well on the TL18QVP. So I've got here 4 layers of foam interfacing. This is by Annie Soft and Stable, and I've also got 4 layers of cork fabric here. So I'm sort of going to stagger those 8 layers so that I can show you how that micro lifter works. Okay, so as you can see, the layers are staggered just to kind of simulate the different thicknesses when going from top stitching to when you arrive at the side seams. And I've got my stitch length set at It is very thick, but I'm going to go ahead and slide this underneath my presser foot just so that you can see that it can handle a lot of layers. Normally I'm not making a bag with this many layers, but I wanted to share with you that it can actually manage it. So I'm going to lower that presser foot and then I'm just going to start sewing. As you can see, it is quite thick, but the machine is still going over the seams. And let's continue on. There we go. I do have the micro lifter in place. All right, and I'll show you this on the close-up camera in just a second, but the stitches are pretty even, especially going over the thinner layers where there's less cork fabric and less foam interfacing. So the micro lifter does an excellent job. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and twist it down to its normal setting. But again, there's 3 different settings for this micro lifter. And I think this is a fabulous feature to add to a sewing machine because generally we're dealing with lots of different layers for bag making. Okay, so this is all those layers of cork and foam interfacing that I sewed together. So it did a really good job with that. And now I wanted to share with you all of the items that came with the sewing machine. So I already showed you this black rubber piece for deactivating the thread cutter in the foot pedal. This screwdriver over here for when you need to change your needle or your presser foot out. This you can slide on top of your thread spool so that it holds your thread in place, or if you're using a shorter spool, it will help with that as well. Sewing machine oil, this will last you quite a while. There was a little packet of needles in with the machine, as well as a few empty bobbins. Okay, so there's a lot of feet that come with this machine. So I'm going to walk you through all of the feet really quickly, and then I'm going to show you 2 feet that did not come with the machine, but that I use all the time on my sewing machine. So this is the walking foot for the Juki. This is the zipper foot, so this you can move from side to side depending on the location of your zipper. If you need the foot, the little metal piece to be on the right side or the left side. I prefer a different zipper foot, so I'll show you that one right now. So this is the zipper foot that came with the machine. This foot did not come with the machine, but I purchased it separately, and it's called the Juki hinge zipper foot. So this foot is really narrow. It looks like the foot I use all the time, except for it being less wide. And the reason I like this foot better is because with this piece of metal, it's a little bit awkward getting a good grip, especially if you're near the edge of the zipper or near the edge of the fabric. Because the hinge zipper foot is so narrow, it handles installing the zippers, in my opinion, a lot better. I completely love this foot, and I just replaced the zipper foot that came with the machine for this one instead. Again, this is the hinge zipper foot. So to go along with the walking foot, there's some guides that you can set up. So you would use these in conjunction with the walking foot, and these guides are for having different spacing. So when you're doing, for instance, machine quilting, especially if you're doing straight line quilting, you can have it spaced out to your preference, how far apart you want the stitches to be. So those pieces come and can be used in conjunction with the walking foot. Okay, a few other extra accessories, and then there's some more feet. So there's 3 free motion feet if you like to do your own quilting. So this one right here, and there's 2 others. So this is an open-toed foot. And then here's another foot. So there's lots of options. If you're using acrylic rulers for your quilting, you can use this one, but there's 3 free motion feet. This one, let me cut this out of the package. This is a compensating foot, and what the compensating foot does, especially with thicker layers of fabric, it has this nice little edge over here, and when sewing on your sewing machine, This will help you line up. This is actually 1/4 of an inch. This will help you get a nice 1/4 of an inch. This one right here is a guide. It's also got the 1/4 inch. It's sort of a thinner blade over here. And then the last foot that comes with the machine is the hemming foot. So this will just roll your fabric over and then give you a nice hem if you're working on a project that requires a hem. So one more foot that did not come with this sewing machine that I use all the time is a Teflon foot. So this is the Teflon foot that I use with my sewing machine, and what the Teflon foot does is it allows the foot, because this is not made of metal, it's made of, it looks like white plastic, but it's Teflon. It allows the foot to slide over fabrics that might be sticky. So if you're working with clear vinyl, leather, sometimes cork fabric, other vinyls, marine vinyl, it allows the foot to slide over the fabric nicely. So for that function, you can either use a Teflon foot or you can use a walking foot. Either of those will accomplish sewing over those types of fabrics. I like using the Teflon foot so I have more of a viewable area, and it's more similar to the feet that I commonly use on my sewing machine for sewing bags. Okay, and this is the foot that I use all the time. This did come in the set of feet and tools with the sewing machine, and this is what the foot looks like. It measures a scant 1/4 of an inch, so it's really good for sewing quilt blocks. I use it for bag making, and there's also measurements on the bed of the sewing machine with different commonly used measurements that you might use, such as 1/4 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch. That's all marked on the bed of the sewing machine. I hope you enjoyed that look at the Juki TL18QVP sewing machine. If you already own either the Juki TL2010Q or the Juki 2200 QVP Mini, those three machines are very similar. Of course, there's those new features on the 18 that I shared with you in this video, but I feel like if you already own those other two machines, I feel like those are plenty good enough for bag making. However, if you've been eyeing a Juki sewing machine, I think this is a really great option. So there's links in the description for where you can find this TL18QVP sewing machine in case you're interested in more information on that, or if you'd like to watch my previous video talking about those other two Juki sewing machines that I own, the TL2010Q or the 2200 QVP Mini. You can find both of those links in the description. All right, I hope you enjoyed that review of the new Juki TL18QVP. We had a lot of questions coming in during the video about the machine, so I wanted to get to as many of those questions as I possibly can. It was it was very difficult to keep up with the questions and catch all of them. So
yeah, a quick stat line that I think 22,000 comments so far.
Oh my God.
There's I think 1,600 watching on YouTube, 1,000 on Facebook, 600 likes on YouTube, and I want to say 500 likes on Facebook. So everyone, thank you for the engagement.
Thank you.
Good luck to everyone tonight as well.
Any questions about the machine that I wasn't able to catch, some of them I wrote down, so we're going to try to, there's a lot. We probably don't have time to post all of them, so we'll get as many on as we can. So straight stitch only, yes, that Juki that I just shared with you is straight stitch only, which is fine because that's what I'm usually, me personally, that's what I'm using for piecing quilts, bag making. Donna wants to know the weight. It's about 40 pounds, so it's relatively heavy. You'd say it's heavy, right?
It's
all metal.
It's all metal. That was a good question, and we'll see later, but it is an all metal.
Kristen says, do you have trouble with your bobbin coming away from the pin when you're winding a bobbin on your Juki? I have to keep my fingernail on the top or it comes loose when I start winding. I haven't had an issue with any of that. I'm not sure if it's a mechanical issue. I don't know if you routinely take your machine in for for a tune-up. But if you haven't taken it in for a while, maybe when you take it in, you can mention that issue that you're having. Every once in a while, I have a tiny. I started having Jukis in 2013, and so every once in a while there's a little issue, and my sewing technician is fabulous, and he always answers my question. Amy wants to know, how's the speed of the TL18QVP compared to the 2010Q, which is another machine that I also have. I look at those machines as almost identical. Visually, how they sew, the speed, that's all identical. The difference is those 3 extra features that I shared with you in the video, and also the additional feet. So there's a lot more feet and accessories that come with the TL18. Nicole says, can this machine sew through many layers easily? Yes, I mean, what I demonstrated in that video is not, I usually don't sew through that many layers when making a bag, but I just wanted to stack all those layers on the machine and show you that if for some reason you needed to, it could handle sewing through that. Jan says, can you get that telescoping part separate? I've not been able to separate those from the machine. They're connected. I'm not sure if it broke, if that could be replaced, but that's a good question. And sadly, I don't know the answer to that. Jamie says, is the 18QVP lighter weight than the 2010? Yeah, I feel like the bodies of those machines is virtually the same. So pretty much the same weight. I'm going to read a couple questions from my sheet while you...
No, that's not okay. No, of course.
Aaron says, oh, nice. Can you
Go
use... Let me answer Aaron's question.
No.
He wanted to know.
I'm in control here.
Can it use large spools of thread? Yeah, so my Aurifil threads are the biggest that I normally use. A cone, I don't know if I've ever put a cone on there, but it might be okay. And if not, you could have the separate spool that sits on the tabletop. I'm not sure if you know what I mean. I have one somewhere. I haven't used it in quite some time, but that's another option. All right, I'm going to go through a couple of these questions. So the microlifter, I noticed a lot of people liked that microlifter feature. When I was doing some research before the show, the microlifter is actually a feature that Juki industrial machines have had in the past, and so they added it to this, the TL18. Basically, it prevents uneven sewing, especially if you're dealing with a lot of layers, if you're going from a thicker layer to a thinner layer, which is what most of us would encounter when, say, we're top stitching the top edge of the bag. So the area where the side seams are, that's going to be thicker. But the front and the back of the bag, the middle of that area, is going to be thinner. So using that microlifter kind of compensates, so you're getting even stitches even when you're going from a thinner area to a thicker area, such as for a seam. Another question, can the machine be used for quilting? Yes, I use it for machine piecing quilts. I have machine quilted a few quilts on it. I generally send quilts to Long Armor, but it can be done, especially that nice table that it comes with. It is very nice to sew with. And on that note, another question about the throat size. The throat size on that machine is 8 inches going across and about 6.5 inches tall. So a really good sized throat, which is when I first got my Juki in 2013, that was the main selling point for me, was a bigger throat size, because if you're making bags, you know, you have to usually wrangle all that bulk of the bag through your throat at least a few times.
You know, it's so weird. When I first heard that term, I'm like, what is she talking about?
I saw a few other questions that I had to write down because they were coming by too fast. Ben Williams wanted to know, does the threader always work? Basically, the only time my automatic threader doesn't work is when I don't have that needle in the very top position. So if I notice it's not threading, then I just go ahead and crank that needle up a little higher, and then it'll work. A question about the hinge zipper foot that I showed in the demonstration. I'm not sure if they have a similar product available for other sewing machines. The hinge zipper foot that I got is actually an authentic Juki foot. How I store my feet, you're gonna laugh. So I have a plastic container for the feet that I use once in a blue moon, but the feet that I use all the time, I have this little cup where I keep my Wonder Clips in, and the feet, I showed you that hinge zipper foot and the Teflon foot, I just keep them in here. I know that's super irresponsible of me, but I just like to have them with within easy grasp, so I can just go ahead and grab them and change them out really quick. So I take great care of my Wonder Clip cup to make sure my feet are always, so I know where they are.
Did you get all your questions?
Those were all my questions.
All right. Glad we wrapped your questions up.
Dawn wanted to know, is that a metal bobbin? Yes, the Juki takes metal bobbins. I I tried to use generic feet in the past, not feet, generic bobbins in the past, and they just look different. They look cheaper, and they didn't work as well. So I just usually buy the authentic Juki metal bobbins. Tiara says, this Juki needed oil. So in the manual, it says to oil, and that's one thing I didn't show in the demonstration video. If you're interested in the oiling, I believe I did show the oiling in my video when I did for the other 2 Jukis that I have, which I have the link to that video in the description. But I think it says for oiling, if you're using the machine every day, I think it said to oil every day, but I am not finding that quickly in the manual, so you'll want to check your manual. Oh, right here. Lubricating the machine. Lubricate the machine once a day if you use it every day. Okay, there's some other notes about that, but that answers your question.
Always refer to the manual for your own sewing machine.
Right.
Don't assume your computerized machine also needs oiling, because we've learned it may not. So definitely consult your manual first. If you don't have a manual, go online, Google, hit your model number in, hit manual in the title. I'm sure I'll go to the manufacturer and get you a PDF version of your manual.
So I used to oil every day. And a few years ago when I took the machine in for a tune-up, which is good to do every year and a half, the sewing machine technician said I was oiling too often. He said maybe pull it back to 2 or 3 times a week. That's just for me, because he was seeing oil residue on the machine, a little bit of leakage, so that meant I was oiling it too much. So that's what it says in the manual. Also, it's helpful to refer to advice from your sewing machine technician, a professional, yes. All right.
Did you do that?
Oh, sorry.
Throw me off, Sarah.
Sarah wants to know, what does lifting the thread up like that do? I'm not sure. My brain is just going so quickly. I'm not sure what that's in reference to.
Maybe when you were threading your machine. Lifting it up above this. That's the only time you were lifting
Maybe
thread.
Feel free to email me after the show just so I can get it right. My email is sarah@sewsweetness.com, and that's Sarah with no H. And you can always email me anytime. Happy to answer emails and help if you have any questions. How different is this machine from yours? Just about the same. Like I mentioned, the main difference is those 3 new features, including the micro lifter.
The micro lifter is probably the big deal.
That's the big deal. And all of the extra feet that machine comes with. You might not need all those feet. I can't remember if I mentioned in that video demonstration or not. If you already have a Juki TL2010Q or the 2200 QVP Mini, I don't feel it's necessary to purchase another machine. I would just suggest purchasing extra feet if you need them, or what have you, or the plate for thick fabric. I highly recommend that. The plate that comes with the machine is a smaller hole. Since this is a straight stitch machine, it doesn't have like a big area for the needle to go back and forth in. Invest in that plate for thick fabric. They have it at so many things. You can find it on their site. I think when I checked yesterday, it was about $35. Replace that plate if you have a Juki with the plate for thick fabric, and just leave it on there. It's okay to piece fabric with it, but it really helps for sewing thick layers so that your needle goes down in the hole instead of kind of twisting to the side and hitting your plate and breaking. Robin says, is the machine plastic or metal? It's all metal. Just that side area where it's blue, that's plastic, but everything else is metal. Quilting in Romania wants to know, will this machine handle making any of your patterns? Yes, I've had the machine since 2013, and there's not a bag, at least any of my patterns, that I've not been able to sew on it. And actually, in fact, I find it helpful to have this home sewing machine rather than an industrial machine, because then I feel like I can keep my designs realistic. I feel like if I had an industrial machine, I might attempt more ambitious designs that maybe your regular home sewing machine wouldn't be able to tackle. Debbie says, is the manual included as a paper copy? Yes, they do have the paper copy included with the sewing machine. Audrey says, I don't really understand what the micro lifter is doing. So the micro lifter, according to the manual, I had it notated.
I saw a quick video. There's a pressure that keeps your foot down, and so when you're getting thick layers, instead of increasing the pressure or reducing the pressure, it makes it loose. So it lets you keep the same pressure while letting it adjust up a certain amount. It's got a little dial on top of it that lets you adjust how much you want it to move up and down while keeping that even pressure.
Yeah, it says it adjusts up, up to approximately 2 millimeters. So there's some wiggle room for getting
As you
those.
saw, Sarah had 8 layers, and that's 4 layers of foam. So it's
right, and it also keeps the variance when you move down to the thinner layers,
yep.
like I showed in that demonstration video. At the end,
Seams,
I had
like exiting the seam and stuff like that.
Yep.
Would be practical application.
Let's see.
Can you quilt on it, Sarah?
Yes, actually, I'm going to be making that quilt on it. I probably won't machine quilt it myself, but it definitely can handle it. And as you saw, it had all those
free motion
feet for quilting, the 3 free motion feet and the walking foot. Can it flat fell the seams on jeans? I found that always bogs down my machine. Yeah, I was actually thinking about jeans when I was talking about that micro lifter. The seams on jeans are one of those areas where there's definitely a variance in thickness when you're going from the seam just to the straight.
I saw a video and a guy was demonstrating, and he went through 4 layers of denim with this machine while demonstrating that
micro lifter.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we'll choose 3 more questions and then we'll get over to the giveaway.
Sure.
Jesse says, "Is this your new machine, Sarah?" I think because my other 2 machines are long overdue for some maintenance, like I mentioned, it's important to do the maintenance rather than going in when there's something really, really wrong with your machine, because the technician, in my personal experience, was able to catch some issues before it turned into big issues. So I'm going to take the other 2 machines in for maintenance. I think I asked my mom if she would want one of my 2 older machines, and then I'll keep this newer one so I can keep using it. And I always like to have a backup because we're constantly filming things, working on new projects, and if one of my machines went out and I needed to wait for it to come back, it would kind of set us back. So David Alice wants to know, do you sell additional Juki feet? You can find, I have a link in the description to So Many Things, which is the website that I got this Juki from. They have tons of accessories for Juki, the plate for thick fabric, all the different feet, the hinge zipper foot. You can find that link and go to their website. You can type in the name of the foot you're looking in the search box, or if you want to give Tim a call at So Many Things, he can help you out if there's something you don't see.
Super duper nice guy.
Yes, his name is Tim. Fantastic to work with. Extremely nice and super knowledgeable. He's been doing this for a lot of years and he knows his machines. I've actually met him in person a few years ago. I taught at a retreat hosted by Vanessa from the Crafty Gemini. I'm sure many of you watch Vanessa's videos, and so I met Tim at one of Vanessa's retreats. This was a few years ago, but yeah, he's a true expert, a true sewing machine expert. Was that your last question?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for the questions for today. I apologize if I did not get to your question live. I hope you enjoyed a behind-the-scenes look at that sewing machine. I wanted to give you one last chance to get your comment in for the sewing machine giveaway. We'll do the sewing machine first, and then the $500 gift certificate for non-U.S. residents.
We'll do a little chair. Let's get excited.
Okay, so my question, if you'd like to get in another comment, is what is your favorite Sew Sweetness project? So let me know in the comments what your favorite is. I saw before the show a lot of you were working on, multiple people were working on the Super Bloom. I saw someone working on a Cavalcade. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Sew Sweetness project is. Yeah, the widget's awesome. I'll give you, I don't know, a few seconds to get your comment in.
Well, there's plenty of comments to choose from. We're up to 32,000 comments, I think.
Okay, so while you're getting your comments in, we're going to draw the winner. It'll be randomly drawn. Danny's going to put the winner's name and their comment on the screen. And whoever the winners are for the 2 giveaways, if you could please email me after the show so that I can get you connected with your prize. And my email is sarah@sewsweetness.com, and that's Sarah with no H. And
who's excited? I'm super excited.
I'm so excited.
Good luck to everyone.
I had a hard time eating dinner tonight because I was thinking about the giveaway and how exciting it was.
We're so going out for ice cream after this.
I wish we could give a sewing machine to everyone, but congratulations in advance to the winner. And hopefully everyone got their comments in. What do you think? You think are there still a lot coming through?
Yeah. Well, look.
Okay, so all right, that's what am I choosing from in order to get the randomly drawn winner?
1,693.
All right, I'm gonna go with 1535.
Ooh.
That's the page that the comments are on.
Okay, 1535, 1 through 20 now.
1 through 20 is
it's taking a second to load actually.
Okay, I'll
ready.
choose number 1 to make it.
Okay,
hopefully you can
Pat,
grab it.
we have a winner, Pat. It's taking a second to the comments are coming through. The software is working, but it's very slow.
Pat Stoughton won the Juki Sewing Machine. Congratulations to you, Pat.
Let's cheer.
Woo! Woo! Okay, so
Pat, I'm gonna leave your name up there. You earned it.
Okay, we'll leave that name up there for just a second. Congratulations to you, Pat.
Congratulations so much. Thank you, everyone else, for coming out, watching, subscribing, liking, supporting us, going to our website.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate all of it. Really, really, we do.
And now for the giveaway. This is only for non-U.S. residents. And in order to pick out your comments, if you could just type in international in the comments, type that one word in, and we're going to be choosing from those comments that say international, and this is going to be for a $500 Sew Sweetness gift certificates to be used at sewsweetness.com. So we'll give you a minute to get in the international comments. Again, this is only for non-U.S. residents.
International only.
Yes. All right. Anything you want to say while they're getting their comments in? You're looking through the comments, I know.
Yeah, well, I've had multiple comments about my shirt being plain. I ran out of shirts. All my other my shirts are not clean. And Sarah would appreciate me wearing...
I actually just didn't fold them, so that's why it appears that you don't have clean shirts.
I don't have options for other shirts, so I went with the clean shirt instead of wearing a used shirt. But yeah, that's why my shirt is different today. I need some more. I love those shirts, to be honest.
All right. You see some international comments coming through?
I see people that say love. Okay, now they're coming through.
All right.
So maybe international's a little delay, but I do see a boatload coming through right now.
All right. So I'm going to choose.
The comments are going crazy.
All right. I'm going to choose for this randomly drawn winner.
They're still coming. You want to just give it?
Yeah, we'll give it a minute just to give everyone chances, because it was international is kind of a longer word to type in.
Here, we'll make some sound effects to make everyone enjoy their time. It's a little magical sound, like what's behind door number 1. A $500 gift certificate to sewsweetness.com. All right, Sarah, you ready to do it?
Sure. I'm gonna pick number 5 this time.
Oh, page 5?
I don't know. How do you want to do?
I just have to pick a number, and I'll put it up. If it's not international, we'll do it again.
Okay.
Give me a number. I'm on
5. 7.
3, 6, 7. Tiffany. It's gonna take a second to load, but
okay.
I don't want to. I'll let Sarah say your last name. Tiffany T.
All right.
There we go. No, that's not it. It was Tiffany.
Does she mean she's international? Oh shoot.
No. It was the one I selected was Tiffany TH right here. Tiffany Thibault. Tiffany Thibault. It's the software. It's gonna get lost quick.
Okay. Was it Thibodeau?
Yeah, Thibodeau, like the former Bulls coach.
Okay. I apologize, Tiffany. We lost your comment. Tiffany Thibodeau was the comment. Danny wasn't able to grab it, but Danny wasn't able to grab it because the comments were going by so fast. But the winner of the $500 gift certificate was Tiffany Thibodeau. Congratulations to both Pat and Tiffany. Please email me after the show so that I can get you connected with your prizes. Again, my email is sarah@sewsweetness.com. That's Sarah with no H. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, everyone.
I will be back next Sunday, and I'll be doing a brand new demonstration, brand new book review, new fabric I've added to my stash, brand new notion of the week. Danny bought me a notion. I think I might use it, but it looks a little bit heavy duty, so we'll see. So I hope you'll join me next Sunday for Sewcial Sunday. Have a great week, everybody.
Take care.
Happy sewing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.